going on, everyone? It is Chris, and welcome to ManicManiac Recaps and Predictions. In this episode, it is not Survivor, it is the 2015 NFL schedule release. Depending on when I upload this, it'll either be tomorrow or today. April 21st, Tuesday, is going to be the release of the 2015 schedule, and I am nothing but pumped. I am ecstatic. I'm so excited for the schedule. And I have some predictions that definitely might not be correct. I kind of threw in some random ones in there, and some of them I'm just like, yeah, that's probably not going to happen. But you know what? Let's throw it out there. Let's see what happens. So if anyone wants to comment and give your predictions to what you think the schedule is going to be like, or what your team is going to be versing on what days, please do so. But I'm going to try to do my best to analyze week 1, all the week 1 matchups, as well as Thanksgiving and Christmas, because those are the only ones that I kind of feel certain about trying to predict. The Christmas one's kind of out of the blue, but the other ones at least have some sort of base. So let's go ahead and get into this. So first off, one of the big storylines for this schedule is who the Patriots will play at home. So I think we've narrowed it down to 3 likely candidates. You do want to look at the Jets too. They're not on here, but the Jets, I mean, there's a good chance that they could probably verse. But think about the Jets and the Patriots rivalry was that a lot of that was fueled by Rex Ryan, and now he's over at the Bills, and I feel like that's just a perfect matchup right there for Rex Ryan and Bill Belichick to go head to head again. Only this time Rex Ryan is with a different team. And in my opinion, I think it's a much better team than what he had with the Jets. So that's a really good matchup. The Steelers are a very good matchup as well, because they're practically, it could be an AFC Championship type preview between the Steelers and the Patriots. These are 2 great teams that could go up against each other. And I think that the Steelers could be definitely number 1 in the AFC North, and Patriots being number 1 in the AFC East. I could see it happening. I could see them going to the playoffs adversity against each other. It's going to be very, very interesting nonetheless. So now we move on to the Eagles. Now with this, it's mostly about storylines that the Eagles have created. There's a lot of storylines behind the Eagles this offseason. They got rid of LaShawn McCoy. They got rid of Jeremy Maclin. They have DeMarco Murray now. They have Kiko Alfonso now. They have Sam Bradford now. They got rid of Nick Foles. I forgot about that. They just got Tim Tebow, for fuck's sake. Like, they have so many storylines. Chip Kelly is a fucking maniac. Whether that be good or bad, we'll see by the time the season starts. But it is absolutely one of the, if not the biggest storyline of the offseason, is what the Eagles have completely done to their team. With that being said, who do I think will be the matchup? If you look at the Steelers, they're the toughest opponent out of the 3 of them. They are the ones that could probably play against the Patriots in the playoffs, and probably it would be the 2 of them that would be trying to get the other one out so they can go to the Super Bowl. You look at the Eagles, the only thing that's really driving them is that they have such a great storyline, and NFL loves storylines. They love the crazy storylines that are surrounded around the Eagles. They're going to be talking about Tebow for a good 5 months non-stop. I'm bracing myself for it. I know it's going to happen. But then you look at the Bills. The Bills have quite a few storylines with them. You got Rex Ryan. You got LaShawn McCoy. You got Richie Incognito. That was a huge thing with NFL, and now he's back. Oh shit, there's so many. You got Percy Harvin now on that team. You got a whole bunch of quarterbacks. That's a whole quarterback battle that's going to be coming out. There is so many storylines surrounding this Buffalo Bills, as well as the fact that as they are probably the best challenger out of everyone in the AFC East to try to take down the Patriots. Why not? I think that the Bills will be facing the Patriots at home for the kickoff. That's just my opinion, though. I think the next one that I would choose would be the Steelers. It only makes sense. I really don't think that the Eagles will be put against the Patriots, except for, like, if they want to have this huge storyline about the Eagles having such a interesting offseason. I don't think so. I think it's going to be between the Bills and the Steelers. I think it's going to be the Bills at the Patriots for the kickoff. So where are the Steelers and the Eagles going to be? I think they're going to have primetime matchups as well, but we'll get to that in a second. The next slew of games are at 1 p.m. on Sunday. That is when all the battles will happen, all the big opening games for all these teams. So let's just go ahead and read them. There are 5 divisional matchups and 3 other matchups. So we got 3 when the AFC versus NFC matchups, essentially. So the New York Jets at Miami Dolphins, Jacksonville Jaguars at Houston Texans, Dallas Cowboys at Washington Redskins, Green Bay Packers at Chicago Bears, New Orleans Saints at Carolina Panthers, Tampa Bay Buccaneers at Indianapolis Colts, Atlanta Falcons at Tennessee Titans, and San Diego Chargers at Minnesota Vikings. The last 2 I didn't really have a specific reason why I put those there, but I have the little things here and there. Of course, the first 5, they are all great divisional matchups. You got the Jets going up against the Dolphins. Both of them have now tried to build their defense big time. Some of them having wide receiver stuff happening with them as well. Well, the difference between the 2 teams, of course, is that one has a quarterback and one it's iffy right now. Now you have the Jaguars and Texans, 2 teams that are really building their teams. Texans got Brian Hoyer now, as well as Ryan Mallett. They're 2 okay quarterbacks. I think Brian Hoyer is not really that bad. I think that he could really do a lot with Texans. And Jacksonville Jaguars, they got Julius Thomas, Jared Oderick, I think his name is. They have a lot of great weapons for them. They just are missing a running back, if anything. And then you got Cowboys and Redskins. The Cowboys, these guys, I think, are on their way to a Super Bowl. Hopefully. I'm honestly rooting for them a little bit. I mean, of course, they're divisional rivals with the Giants. They're my favorite team. But I kind of have respect for Cowboys, and I kind of want to see them go far, and hopefully they do well, nonetheless. I think they'll have an easy time against the Redskins, because the Redskins have been having a lot of issues. If they get Marcus Mariota, that'll be definitely a very interesting matchup, nonetheless. Then you got the Green Bay Packers and Chicago Bears. Just a classic major battle, ultimate divisional battle. The cheeseheads have always hated the Bears, and vice versa. And it's just a nice way to open it up. Or when I say nice, I mean just a bloodbath. It'll be fun. And then you got the New Orleans Saints going up against the Carolina Panthers. Not really much to say here. They were the top 2 teams last year. I think they'll be the top 2 teams this year as well, unless the Atlanta Falcons really pull it together. And hey, I guess the Tampa Bay Buccaneers could even as well. Those 2 teams will definitely be going. I think they will be going up against each other in Week 1. Or at least it would be a very interesting matchup for Week 1. And now this one I wanted to do because I felt like it was really it could be very intriguing to have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers go up against the Colts. Reason I have this is that this year, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are picking first. They're most likely going to pick a quarterback, probably Jameis Winston, maybe Marcus Mariota, whoever it may be. But then you have the Colts, who Andrew Luck was picked first in 2011. So why not have 2 number 1 pick quarterbacks go up against each other and see what happens? I think that's really a great storyline if they want to have a good opening, I feel like that probably could be a primetime matchup as well, but I don't know. I feel like that would be an interesting opening. And again, the Atlanta Falcons, Tennessee Titans, San Diego Chargers, Minnesota Vikings, those are kind of all just random ones last minute, trying to figure out what can I do with them. Titans and Chargers, of course, do have a very interesting storyline, but sadly, if they were versing each other this year, I would easily put them as a matchup, but that sadly is not going to happen. Alright, on to 4:30. The 4:30 matchups on that Sunday. Only 4 matchups, but quite a few West Divisional people or teams. They're people now. So you got the Detroit Lions against the Kansas City Chiefs. That's a good storyline because they were both number 2 teams that could probably try their best to take down the number 1s, which are the Denver Broncos and Green Bay Packers, respectively, to the two teams. I think that Kansas City Chiefs, they just need to really build on their offense, and I think they'll be good, and some defense stuff, I think. I don't know. I haven't really watched that much of the Chiefs, so I can't really judge them too much, but I think that they're really close to making themselves be an awesome team. And the Lions, I mean, they have Matthew Stafford. I think he's a great quarterback. They got Haluluti Nada, there you go. And he's great on defense. He's one of the best, and I think there's gonna be a lot. They have a lot of great weapons for offense as well. I think it would just be a really interesting battle for opening day. Raiders against the Browns, which is actually something I've seen a lot of predictions for week 1. Which are the way that people are saying it, it's kind of like the two bottom of the barrel teams, which I mean I agree with in some sense. The Raiders, in my opinion, are a lot better. I think they're going to be a lot better this year than they were last year by far. They were on a 10-game losing streak or 9-game losing streak in the very beginning, and then they finally won one, which was nice to see. I mean, I was glad to finally see them win something. They were like, I think they were 0 for 10, and then the last 6 games they were 3 for 3. So that's nice to see. That's always nice to see them come back. So I think they're going to be pretty good this year. Maybe not playoff potential, but they're going to be good. Browns, there's so many questions with them. So just, they're both teams that have a big question mark. Why not put them against each other? San Francisco 49ers and New York Giants. As a Giants fan, I know that this is a huge rivalry, even though they're not divisional rivals. I mean, we went against them, I think the latest, other than the, like, last year's, like, all the regular season matchups, but I think the playoffs, last time we versed them was in 2011. I just started becoming a football fan, like, last year, so I have to remember some of these matchups, but I think the last time we versed them in the playoffs was right before we beat the Patriots in the Super Bowl. And that was a really tough game. We've had some really good games against San Francisco 49ers, and they've had great games against us as well. I'm very interested to see how that could end up, by far. 49ers, they kind of fallen off the wagon, but so have we, so I mean, I don't know. We'll see what happens. Rams against Ravens, there is nothing that I could say for that. I just put it up there just to, like, again, just kind of find a space for them. Just say, I guess, another in the division matchup, or not division, what am I saying? AFC versus NFC type matchup. Or is it interconference? Interconference, I think is what it's called. Alright, so anyway, let's go on to the Sunday night game. So here, we're bringing back the Steelers. So, last year, the Sunday night game was the Indianapolis Colts against the Denver Broncos. Denver Broncos were the AFC champion and losing to the Seahawks. This year, the Seahawks went up against the Patriots. They ended up losing. So I thought, what if they started some sort of tradition where the NFC or AFC champion that did not win the Super Bowl the previous year, why not have them host a game on that Sunday night against whatever opponent? I feel like the Steelers would be a nice opponent against the Seahawks. Seahawks they're building quite a team. It's ridiculous how strong their team is. I think they're going to have quite a few picks in the draft as well. So things are going to really look up for that team. And then you have the Steelers, who just in general, they've always been a good team. They just have to build a little bit. I think defensively wise, because they have great offensive weapons, and of course Ben Roethlisberger, Mr. Burger, man, he's great. So that's my Sunday night prediction. You got the Monday night predictions, and this is the doubleheader. So these are the last 4 teams. And here comes back the Eagles, going up against the Arizona Cardinals. A few years back, they had a big NFC Championship showdown between the two teams, and it was with Kurt Warner when he was with the Cardinals and Eagles. I don't know who the quarterback at the time was, but it was a really intense matchup, and I remember actually watching it. I remember just watching. I was like, holy shit. That was a fun game to watch. So I thought it would be nice to have that rematch. And now this matchup, the Bengals against the Broncos, the last Monday night game, other than the Bengals and the Steelers. there was a battle between the Bengals and the Broncos. One of the best football games I've ever seen. Like, aside from the Super Bowl, aside from the NFC Championship, aside from some of the great playoff games that have happened, and then some other games throughout 2014, or no, just I guess just the playoffs. I think that was my favorite game to watch in the 2014 season, personally. It was such an intense battle, and really huge props to the Bengals for pulling that out and getting a playoff berth, even though it didn't really do them that well. So Cincinnati Bengals against the Broncos, I feel like would be a nice Monday night rematch. Why not? Like, you know, something interesting, nonetheless. And that's our week 1. That's all the matches for week 1. That's at least my opinion. It could definitely be hugely different when it gets announced tomorrow. But we'll have to find out for sure when it happens. Just some miscellaneous stuff now. I kind of wanted to check out the Thanksgiving matchups. What I think that what could happen. I think the Green Bay Packers and the Detroit Lions would be a very interesting Thanksgiving matchup. You know, just two major divisional rivals just going up against each other. And then why not, you know, for Thanksgiving, it's all about America, finding America. Why don't we have two American teams go up against each other? So the New England Patriots against the Dallas Cowboys. It's perfect. It writes itself, man. And then, you know, I was thinking, you know, what could be a really good matchup for there? And we focus on the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, a lot of us, at least, for Thanksgiving. Why not we have a Battle of New York on that day? New York Jets, New York Giants facing up against each other in the primetime. I don't know. I think that could be definitely really interesting. I feel like, honestly, I feel like for what it's worth, I think that's what the Jets and Giants deserve in terms of primetime, as well as some other primetime stuff for both of them. But, like, I feel like that's one primetime battle that should happen. Even if it's not on Thanksgiving, they should have a primetime battle between the two New Yorks. But we'll have to see what happens. And lastly, this is definitely just me pulling something random out of a hat. There might be a chance that there's a Christmas matchup this year. Because the way that it works, I don't know how, I don't know why they do it this way, but apparently they don't like having games on Christmas Eve. So instead, they might have it on Christmas Day. I don't know. I don't know what they're trying to do with it, but apparently there's going to be just some sort of Christmas game, whatever it may be. So I was thinking, like, what kind of primetime matchup near the end of the season would be really fun to watch? Why not the Tennessee Titans against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers? I know this is kind of strange because these are two teams that kind of been slacking. They have not been doing good. They both got 2-14 records, but they have been two teams that have been talked about a lot in the offseason, mainly because they're the top 2 picks of the draft. They could pick some big players for the draft, and you could have them verse against each other. It could be a Jameis Winston, Marcus Mariota type battle if it doesn't get traded to the Chargers or whoever steals Marcus Mariota. But it could be a very interesting battle nonetheless. But there's a whole bunch of different matchups. I just kind of put there because I was just like, well, I'd like to see that. I'd like to see that battle happen. But other than that, guys, I think that's really it for ManicManiac recaps and predictions. I would like to thank you all for watching. I could probably have gotten that 100% wrong, and the chances for that happening are very high. So I just kind of wanted to put my point of views out there. I'd love to hear other people's predictions because I feel like it would always be fun to hear from other people and see what you guys would think about it. So if anyone comes across this video within the next 24 hours, please let me know what your predictions are. So thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.